Oh, hey there, dude. What's going on, dude? Dude, I have to write a synthesis argument. What? I'm writing a synthesis argument, dude. I have to combine these 7 sources into a coherent argument. I'm literally drowning in these sources, dude. You misuse literally, dude. What? Never mind, dude. Just chillax. I know this one guy, this one dude who can help you. Hey, dude. I'm Dr. Clay Zuba, inventor of Zubify. Writing the synthesis essay can make you feel cooked, sis. But if you watch this video to the end, you'll see how writing that essay can be as easy as cooking a nice bowl of noodles. So you could eat that essay instead of it cooking you. You can eat it like it's a nice bowl of noodles. Yes. Of all the essays on the AP Language and Composition test, the AP Synthesis essay is probably the most intimidating. Here's your scenario. You'll be given a prompt in 6 or 7 sources. You'll have 15 minutes to read and annotate and organize your sources and about 40 minutes to write an essay that formulates a position in response to the prompt and supporting your prompt using at least 3 of the sources. This is in some ways easier than the argument essay because you don't need to invent your sources out of your head, but it can be harder because you need to properly integrate the sources. Your completed essay is scored based on your thesis, your evidence, and your commentary that shows how your evidence supports your thesis, sophistication, which is a measure of the complexity of your thinking and your ability to analyze the different sides of an issue, and whether you've used at least 3 sources and have a clear line of reasoning. If you've watched my video on introducing the argument essay, and if you haven't, you should. I'll link it below. You'll see that the process that I'm advocating for you here is very similar. The only difference is that you have to read, analyze, and synthesize evidence rather than coming up with it out of your own knowledge. I'll walk you through the process here, but watch my intro to argument video, links below, for deeper instruction on this process. First, you need to read the prompt. Here's a prompt. Space exploration has historically been led by government programs with public funding, but in 2004, the United States legalized private space travel. Yes. Since then, private industries have been investigating ways to make exploring space both affordable and profitable. Critics of privatized space exploration believe that the costs of space travel are too prohibitive to be worthwhile for the general public. Carefully read the following 6 sources, including the introductory information for each source. Write an essay that synthesizes the material from at least 3 of the sources, and develops your position on the extent to which privatizing space exploration is beneficial. Let's decode what this prompt is asking you to do. The prompt here is providing context about a shift from government-led space travel to private space travel. It represents a critical perspective about cost concerns. It asks you to develop a position on whether privatization is beneficial. The key task words here are develop your position. Here you have to take a clear stance, and you need to consider the extent to which. This suggests nuance and degree rather than a simple yes or no answer. Beneficial can be interpreted broadly, economically, scientifically, for national prestige, for humanity's future, things like that. You'll develop your definition of beneficial based on what the sources are allowing you to support. Have you ever had someone who really likes to help you? Have you ever had someone who wants to help you whether you want him to or not? If so, then you know what it's like to have a helper like Licky Boy. He has been helping me today. Oh my gosh, you're catching him in a lucky moment when he's just sitting on the desk and instead of like rubbing up against everything and helping me type. Sometimes it's good for someone to help you type, but sometimes it's better if they just rest. Sometimes resting is the best helping, and sometimes that helping is the resting of Licky Boy. Thanks, Licky. Thanks, Lick. Lick, lick, Licky Boy. Lick, lick, Licky Boy. As shown in Gerald Graff and Kathy Birkenstein's book, They Say, I Say, Moves That Matter, agree, disagree, or agree/disagree, or basically yes, no, or maybe. These are basically leading you to say either yes, privatization of space exploration is beneficial, no, it is not beneficial, or it is beneficial in some ways but not beneficial in other ways, or it is beneficial under some circumstances or done in certain ways but not done in other circumstances, things like that. Yes. You should write these possibilities down on your scratch paper before you begin to read the sources. Then you can get an idea which position these sources best support as you read them. I've just shown you the first two tasks that you should do when you get to the prompt for the AP Lang and Comp test. Read and comprehend the prompt, then formulate 3 basic possible positions. Do all of this before you even think about reading the sources. If you do this, you'll have a mental framework for analyzing how each of these sources can possibly fit into the thesis, and you can incorporate them into possible answers more efficiently. Now you can read your sources. You'll probably do this during the 15-minute reading session that you're allowed to do before you start to write your essay.
Dude, what if you don't read that fast and you can't read all those sources in 15 minutes?
Dude, then just don't read them all. You only need to use 3. So if you can only read 3, develop a thesis based on the 3 that you read. In this video, I'm just going to give you advice. I'm not going to read through all these sources with you, analyze them, and help you see how you could use them to support a thesis. I'll do that for you later, like next week maybe. This video is a broader view of how to write the synthesis essay. As you read your sources, you should be thinking about the main claim or perspective for each source. You should consider how they relate to each other. You might see patterns of multiple sources that seem to agree or ones that disagree, or you might see the sources talking to each other almost in terms of overlapping on certain themes or issues like cost or beneficence to humanity, or whether or not there will be enough cats in space, or I don't even know. We have to read the sources to really see. You should be identifying key evidence, examples, or data points, any limitations or counter arguments presented. Only after reading all of these sources should you decide which of your 3 possible theses is that these sources best support. Pick the 3 or 4 that you think you understand the best and can analyze the best in an argument, and pick those and develop your thesis based on which position those sources present. Now finally, you can write out your thesis. Your thesis needs to state your stance clearly, feel empowered to use the word I if it helps you show the difference between your position and the position of the prompt or the sources. And consider using a because clause in your thesis because it can help you outline the reasons for supporting your position and basically the claims that you're going to put in your topic sentences. Here are 3 effective theses for this prompt. 1. I agree that private space exploration should be encouraged and supported by government policies because it fosters innovation, creates economic opportunities, and maintains America's leadership in space while reducing costs to taxpayers. You can see that this example supports privatization. You can see a because clause here, and this is helping your reader understand how your essay is going to be analyzed. It gives you a clear line of reasoning to follow while you write. If your thesis gets too clunky when you write out all these reasons, just simplify it. It's not a big deal. The main important thing is that the reader can clearly understand your stance. Example 2. I disagree because the privatization of space exploration presents serious concerns that outweigh its potential benefits because it prioritizes profit over strategy, limits access to the wealthy, and lacks sufficient regulatory oversight when emergencies occur. Clearly, this one disagrees. Here's a more complex and nuanced position. Although I agree that privatized space exploration offers promising benefits in terms of innovation and cost efficiency, its implementation requires careful government oversight and public-private partnerships to ensure safety standards, broad accessibility, and alignment with long-term scientific goals beyond profit motives. Here you can see this thesis maybe gets a little long and maybe a little clunky. If you want to, you might put a period here just after partnerships because it does simplify the thesis. On the other hand, what I showed you here does outline a clear line of reasoning. You're the writer. See what works best for your argument. Yes. Now that you've got your thesis written and you've basically got it outlined because you know what your because clauses are, you know why you are supporting your position, which tells you then what each paragraph is about, and it kind of also sets up your claim in your topic sentence, you can write. Yes. Organize your sources to support a clear line of reasoning. If you developed your thesis correctly, you already have this. For each body paragraph, make a claim that supports your thesis in the topic sentence. Explain how sources support your claim, and connect back to your thesis and overall argument in commentary and the concluding sentence. Remember to synthesize, not just summarize. Draw connections between multiple sources in the paragraphs whenever possible. Organize your essay around claims, not sources. Write topic sentences that are claims that you can support with evidence, not just introductions to evidence. And in your paragraphs, show how your sources work together or against each other. This shows complex critical thinking, and it's more likely to give you a higher score on the essay. And that's how you write a synthesis essay. I'm telling you, follow my process. Write the Zuba way. What I'm telling you might be the reverse of your instinct. Your instinct is probably to develop a stance as soon as you finish reading the prompt without reading your sources. But if you do this, you won't be developing a stance that is the one that the sources that you're given best support. So read the prompt, figure out what the 3 possible answers are, and then write your essay only after first determining which position, agree, disagree, or agree/disagree, your sources best support. In other words, don't fit your sources into a position that you predetermine. Instead, let the sources guide you as you formulate your position. If you read and annotate your sources properly, your essay will practically write itself after you've read your sources. My method helps you see connections between the sources before you even start writing. It's like making a nice bowl of noodles. After you read each source can represent a noodle, and you need to figure out how all these noodles best go together in your bowl, which is your essay symbolically. And then, you just put them all together in your bowl real nice, and then your reader reads them, and your reader can eat them with a fork, and the fork represents their brain, and then it'll be like you're eating a bowl of noodles, and you'll eat that essay, and it won't be cooked. And that's how you make your synthesis essay manageable and effective. Yes. Thanks for watching Zubaby. Remember to like and subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll see my deep dive into these sources and how to synthesize them next week in your feed. Yes. Thanks for watching Zubaby. Come back for more Zubaby.